Racing movies have been a fan favorite subgenre of film for decades now.
This right here is my favorite thing.
With different forms of it through animation and live action, it's no surprise how popular they've become over the years. However, in recent times, the sport of Formula One has greatly influenced the genre, with the latest example being Brad Pitt's F1 movie being one of the most anticipated films of the year. So in today's video, since I figured I love Formula One, and this film is celebrating that, why not compare it to the next biggest F1 movie around with Rush, a 2013 film starring Thor.
Ooh, this is knowledge. Knowledge is power. No, it's not. Knowledge is not power. That's power.
So without further ado, strap in, ladies and gentlemen, as we dive into today's delicious debate between Rush and F1. Now, before we dive into the films, I just wanted to clarify that I will be basing my judgments on three factors with both of these films, with those being characters, performances, and overall entertainment. This could be how it looks, the music, the editing, with all of these being out of 10 points. So without further ado, let's jump right into I love this movie, man. Rush is a film I remember turning on a decade ago and thinking not much of it, then being engulfed into this rivalry from start to finish. And it's easily been one of those movies I love going back to time and time again. So doing it for this video was a blessing for me because I think this movie is wonderful. This is one of those movies where even if you're not into racing or F1 in particular, the story is so good, you want to keep watching regardless. This movie mostly focuses on James Hunt, a brazen, cocky, and vain driver, versus Nikki Lauda, another cocky but arrogant and abrasive F1 driver, as they battle it out in the 1976 Formula One season for world champion. The movie's main structure surrounding itself on this rivalry is what I particularly love about it. It's a constant back and forth between points of view of what the other is doing in terms of trying to one-up the other or beat or mock them. This way of storytelling allows you to really contextualize the characters' motives and actions. You glimpse the depth both of these characters have for racing, but in terms of their grit and conviction to succeed as well. Lauda abandoning his parents' investment to do it his own way, Hunt advocating himself to McLaren in order for him to stay in F1 just to be Lauda, are some examples of how deep these characters go. And as the season progresses and the turmoil keeps building and building, you see the two butt heads and continue to get better because of their bidding rivalry. It also helps that the film casts two really great actors to portray the two stars. Chris Hemsworth really shines as Hunt. This kind of character really fits his persona, and he nails the charming, suave, but sometimes aloof racer perfectly. And there's a lot of moments where he can escape that Thor bubble and do some great stuff. However, Daniel Bruhl as Nikki Lauda is a 10 out of 10. This man embodied the character. His accent, his mannerisms. I'm shocked he wasn't considered for an Oscar for this role. Bruhl's attention to making Nikki a calculated, hard-working, but sensitive man was prudent. Like Hemsworth, there's a lot of scenes in this film that Bruhl stands out as Nikki. There's a lot of things Nikki says in this movie that I have etched in my brain because of this film.
A wise man gets more from his enemies than a fool from his friends.
Bars! I've constantly been thinking that an enemy is better than a friend for real.
It was me, Perry.
But I also love how this movie is filmed. The races throughout the season are very engaging, they're fast-paced. The sound design just rips as these cars are speeding at levels you've never even thought of. I like how the movie focuses on certain races more than others too, since they contain more important elements between the feud. Track races like the Nürburgring, where Lauda crashes and gets his scars, was an incredible moment of the film. You felt the weather on the track, how the car drove, the intensity of the rain falling down. I like how this film looked in terms of applying weather to each race. I enjoyed the complexities and importance bad weather has on racing and the struggles a racer must face enduring it, because the way this film is shot makes you feel that. Also, the entire final race with Hunt losing his shifting head, bearing down the raceway with unusable tires, and rain smacking his wind visor, struggling to race but overcoming his 5th position to get 3rd was impeccable. This movie somehow makes you root for both characters, even though they are rivals. The film gives you amicable reasoning for Hunt and Lauda that make you want to see both of them succeed and value both of their decisions for their season. This movie makes that feud worth every second of this 2-hour film. It's one of those racing films that breathes Formula One, but also understands the characters behind it are what really make the film work even more. With music, editing, and cinematography to bear, this is one of those racing movies you shouldn't miss. Rush's characters get a 9 for me, the performances a 9, and entertainment a 9, bringing this to a total of 27. Can F1 beat it? Let's find out. Yes, I'm in my car. I have to scream sometimes and the neighbors don't like that when I'm inside. That being said, if you're enjoying this video, hit that subscribe button. What are you doing? I know half of you aren't really subscribed right now watching this. What's up with that? We don't like that here. Join the family. We're on the road to 25,000 subscribers. Once we reach 25,000, I'm going to announce a huge project that I am super excited to work on. So guys, let's get there before the big 2-6, alright? I believe in you. Alright, enough from me, back to the video. You know what? Going into this movie, I was worried it was just going to come across as a Formula One commercial and have no substance to it. However, ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad to report that that's not what this film is at all. I know. I was elated too. This movie has a lot of great elements to it and really embodies what a summer blockbuster should be. The main premise of this film surrounds a failing F1 team whose leader, Javier Bardem's Ruben, reaches out to Brad Pitt's character, Sonny Hayes, who's this washed-up racer, to help bring his experience to the team and hopefully win a race so Ruben's team doesn't get dismantled by the season's end. However, Sonny has to deal with his teammate Julian Pierce, a rookie looking to make it big within Formula One, who's scared his position will be overtaken by Sonny if he underperforms. Going into this, I wasn't expecting how much of that teammate rivalry was going to take center stage, but man, it really is the backbone of the film. Sonny and Pierce go back and forth with their delivery in a way that reminded me of Lauda and Hunt, except these guys are just fictional. Their personal experiences and mindsets conflict with one another during the season, and it makes for plenty of hilarious but also very serious moments. I thought both of these characters were really nuanced, sharing personal experiences to their loved ones or friends that truly developed their characters as the film progressed. Much like Rush, the film is elevated by the actors portraying these characters. Brad Pitt owns that old school, cool, experienced jockey, while Damson Idris's Pierce is suave, fashionable, swaggy, and fast on the track. Even side characters in this film are quite nuanced. Kerry Condon's Kate is one of the first female car engineers, and that alone gives her a lot of interesting segments in the story. Plus, her chemistry with Brad Pitt was incredible. Javier Bardem's Ruben was entertaining too, and his friendship with Sonny was a great part of the film. Now, what truly shines about this film is, of course, the filmmaking. The film was directed by the same guy who did Top Gun Maverick, my goat, Joseph Kosinski. I'm a huge fan of this man's filmography because he made Tron Legacy. Enough said. Going into this movie, I expected to be blown away at the driving segments, and yeah, I was. This movie is filmed so immersively that you literally feel like you're attached to the car when driving. It's one of those rare things where the film doesn't need to over-exaggerate its editing in order to make you feel in the car. You're literally watching the driver drive in real time. Plus, all of the drone shots, the landscapes, the different tracks across the world all led to that immersive experience. It was also pretty cool seeing all of the real F1 drivers out on the course. Matt Verstappen cameo goes crazy. In terms of actual F1 rules and regulations being followed, well, it's a movie. I'm sure a lot of bullshit was put on screen. However, that bullshit was entertaining as hell. This movie was a ton of fun. The pacing was great. The acting was phenomenal. The driving sequences were a ton of fun. This movie is 1000% worth watching in theaters right now. Probably in 4D if you can. That being said, how does it compare to Rush? Well, in terms of characters, I give the movie a 7. I don't think the characters were as deeply nuanced or defined as Rush's. I guess that's the burden of doing fictional characters instead of real ones. In terms of performances, I give it an 8. The actors do a great job, but Nikki Lauda's performance by Daniel Bruhl is next level. And in terms of entertainment, I'd absolutely give this movie a 10. I think it's generally perfect in that department. The best way a racing film could possibly be done. With that, brings the total for F1 to a 25, where Rush is at a 27. Now, both of these movies are incredible and deserve to be watched. So if you could take anything away from this video, have it be that. Racing movies are a ton of fun to watch, and what a great way to start your summer than by watching a very great one in the big 2025. Let me know what you think of my ratings in the comments, and let me know what you think of these movies if you end up watching both of them down there as well. And while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. We're on the road to 25K, baby, so if you enjoyed these videos, join the family. And liking this video pushes it out to more people like you who also enjoy these types of videos. Make sure to hit that notification bell so you're always notified when I drop a new video. And as always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.